I ignored my husband so much that he went away without telling me. I, Carla, 30, am 6 months pregnant with mine and my husband's. Harry, 31, first child. During this pregnancy, I've been exhausted every day and usually come home from work, go to bed an hour later, then wake up at midnight to reheat what Harry had made for dinner. For context, I've been part of a huge work project going on for months, and I've been extremely overworked. On top of this, my husband doesn't have a job at the moment and isn't actively looking for one unless I remind him. I've been working overtime to save money before maternity leave. Our anniversary was on August 6th, and I asked him if we could have a romantic dinner at home and then snuggle up to watch TV under a warm blanket. I thought it was a wonderful idea since I was too tired to go out, and Harry was doing most, if not all, of the household chores. However, he seemed a little annoyed when he agreed, but I thought nothing of it. The next morning, Harry seemed quite cold towards me, barely looking me in the eyes. Once I got home from work, he wasn't there, but that was normal since he could have been out with friends or at an interview, so I went to sleep. I woke up at 11 that night to see that I was still alone in the house, so I checked my phone. I had about 8 missed calls from Harry and a long text. I'm summarising, but the text read, "I understand how tired you are because of this pregnancy and you having to work extra hours most days, but I'm over being ignored every day and having a 5-minute conversation with you every so often. You expect me to do all the housework and plan our boring anniversary alone. I'm really annoyed, so I'm staying at a friend's tonight. Text me when you see this." Of course, I called him and texted him about being sorry and wanting to talk, but I never got an answer. In the morning, I called my boss about having a day off and spent most of it waiting for Harry and planning my apology. However, when he came home, he silently handed me a rose and a card saying that he loves me but needs a few days away from me to figure out what he's going to say or do. Then those days became a week. This part happened on the 13th, 8 days later. I messaged him every day, and he would constantly say that he needed one more day or just another night at his friend's to figure this all out. But on the 13th, I decided to go to the friend's home he was staying at to confront him. So I drove over, nearly 30 minutes away, and banged on the door so hard that I could hear it echo from inside. By this point, I'd realised that I should have put more effort into our relationship, but he also should have talked to me about this instead of running away. Harry's friend came to the door, confused but pleased to see me. He seemed a little on edge as I talked to him, and he had to break the silence every so often with comments about my pregnancy and how he couldn't wait to meet the baby. Finally, we stopped talking, and I practically demanded to see Harry, saying that I wanted to apologise, but also explain how childish he was being by hiding from me. The thing that I found absolutely hilarious, but actually not at all, was that his friend said that Harry wasn't there and had left for Ireland on the 9th. Ireland. To say I was absolutely beyond furious and extremely confused would be such an understatement. His friend invited me in and sat me down to talk. Turns out that Harry had told his friend of our problems and had come up with the solution of going on a holiday as a couple to sort everything out, and quote, "learn to love each other again," end quote, in Harry's words. So of course, his friend thought that it was a lovely idea and helped him book the flight on the evening of the 5th, the first time he had stayed at his friend's house. Since it was a last-minute booking, Harry's friend had stayed up with him for quite a while before they found a flight taking a few more passengers due to cancelled tickets. His friend then explained how he'd been confused when I arrived at the door but didn't want to say anything about the holiday in case it had ended early due to us arguing. Harry's return ticket is booked for the 20th of August. I'm just so angry and quite heartbroken, to be completely honest. I messaged him the moment his friend had finished talking, and Harry only responded an hour ago with nothing more than a head to figure things out. Sorry. So now I'm home alone again and trying to figure out what I'm going to do or say when he gets home. Anyway, thanks for reading about how my life is going. Side note, I'm from the UK, so Ireland isn't as far as people think it is since I'm not American, but it is still. So, other side note, a question that keeps repeating is where did he get the money from without you noticing? So I'll leave my explanation from the comments here. He has a bank account with his money from when he worked as a teenager and a little into his 20s before we met. And a few years ago, We agreed not to touch that money and add to it every so often. It was a backup savings account. So I'm assuming that he took the money from there since it wasn't from the joint account. I've had time to think a little. Here's another note 6 hours later. I knew this post would get attention, but I assumed it would only be a little. I've never used Reddit before, but I've seen it on TikTok a few times, so I thought posts only became popular on there. And maybe this one would get as popular as my AIT, a post. Not Dory. I was upset when I posted this and didn't think about how I'd handle all the judgments and conspiracies once I'd calmed down. I appreciate the hard truths, empathy, and/or advice given to me, but I'm not divorcing him, changing the locks, calling a lawyer, or anything like that. Small update. It's the 17th now. I've had a longer think. I'm not deciding anything until our talk, but I definitely won't be staying in my home with him after this. I can't trust him not to run away again. I'll talk more about this on my actual update, but I've gained some self-respect and realised he's being a jerk. I talked to my mum, and she's happy for me to move in with her on the 21st, and I'm free to stay for as long as I need to. So, I'm going to post an update just to clear the air when I can, hopefully the day after Harry is home, and then delete this all a day or two later, or I'll forget to.
How many tickets did he book? Is he alone?
2 tickets as far as his friend knows, and I don't know who he took with him, but I'd like to assume it's a different friend, or a relative, or that it just wasn't used.
Your husband is having an affair and run off with his side chick. Because you are pregnant and working, it would be character suicide for him to leave you right now. So he will find a way to blame you for everything. Tell all your mutual friends about how horrible you treat him so they will feel sorry for him. Then when he finally either leaves or drives you to leave him, he will come out as the victim, and your circle of friends and family will blame you for destroying the family. You need to lawyer up now. You need to find out what your rights are before he tries to get spousal support and custody. If he has credit cards in your name, freeze your credit and cut off the cards. Move half the money from joint accounts to your account. I'm sorry this is happening to you, but now is not the time to be running off emotion.
Even if that's true, he took off on a vacation to another country while you are heavily pregnant without telling you. Why aren't you angry? You're heavily pregnant and overworked. He's unemployed and complaining about you not doing more chores. It's his job right now to be looking after you and the house. He should worried about how tired you are, not resentful. Pack up his shit, leave it at his friend's house, and don't even consider reconciling without full disclosure and a commitment on his part. Go to marriage counseling. Hire a cleaner to come in a couple times a week to help with the house and a meal service to make cooking easier, and see if your job is open to you slowing down a bit. Anything to lower your stress. You're growing a person and your health should be a priority right now. He's probably having an affair, but even if isn't, he's proven totally unreliable when you need him the most.
Ireland is currently the most expensive place in Europe to holiday. I live here, and I can't afford a staycation in the summer because of the inflated prices. He is over here spending money earmarked for your baby, while you've been working your arse off to keep his unemployed arse. I am so mad for you. If you find out where he is staying, and it's anywhere near Waterford or Tipperary, hit me up and I will personally go and put a boot up his arse on your behalf.
He's got a girlfriend, sweetie. Don't buy his lies. He's just trying to keep the peace since you're pregnant. He would not be a big loss if you kicked him out. Hugs.
Your husband is immature. He seems to be using your pregnancy as an excuse to leave the relationship. He created a grand lie and left the country. He wants out. That is concerning. What happens when most of your attention is on the baby? Is he going to leave again because he's being ignored? I can't imagine how you are feeling, but I strongly urge you to consider your options. One of those being couples therapy, if you feel like the relationship is worth saving ASAP.
This is a very extreme way to handle being upset by your tired, overworked, pregnant wife. Has he tried talking to you before this? I'm wondering if he's using this as an excuse to leave. 2 tickets, a wife that doesn't pay attention, an affair would be easy.
He's in Ireland with someone that's not you.